Hello everyone, welcome to Ancient Chronicles. Today, I will talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza, an architectural marvel, houses a great chamber from which two ventilation shafts or air passages extend northwards and southwards. These passages, which are square or nearly so, open on the outer surface of the pyramid and are respectively 233 and 194 feet long. They provide a continuous supply of pure air to the chamber and keep it dry at all times. The Great Gallery, extending for a distance of 150 feet and rising at an angle of 26 degrees 18, is also of curious construction. It has a width of 5 feet at the base and a height of over 30 feet. The side walls, formed of 7 layers of stone, each projecting a few inches over the one below it, cause the gallery to gradually contract towards the top. The top, which is only 4 feet wide, is covered with stones that reach across it and rest on the walls at either side. While the exact purpose of such a lofty gallery is unknown, it likely contributed to maintaining the purity and freshness of the interior air by increasing the space through which it had to circulate. According to unanimous tradition, the 3 monuments described were constructed by 3 consecutive monarchs, whose native names are read as Khufu, Shafra, and Menkora. These kings belonged to Manetho's 4th dynasty, and Khufu, the first of the 3, seems to have been the immediate successor of Sneferu. Theorists have speculated about the objectives the builders had in mind when they constructed such magnificent edifices. Some suggest that the Great Pyramid was built to embody cosmic discoveries, such as the exact length of the Earth's diameter and circumference, the length of an arc of the meridian, and the true unit of measure. Others believe that Khufu's great work was an observatory, with the ventilating passages designed for telescopes to observe the sun and stars. However, no valid foundation for these theories has been established. The one hard fact, supported by abundant evidence, is that the pyramids were built as tombs to contain the mummies of deceased Egyptians. The chambers in their interiors held sarcophagi, and in one instance, a sarcophagus contained a coffin with an inscription indicating that it once held the body of a king. Furthermore, every pyramid in Egypt, more than 60 of them, was built for the same purpose, and they all occupy sites in the great necropolis or burial ground opposite Memphis, where the inhabitants are known to have laid their dead. The marvel is how Khufu suddenly conceived the idea of constructing an edifice double the height of any previously existing, covering 5 times the area and containing 10 times the mass. Architecture does not generally proceed by leaps and bounds, but here was a case of a sudden extraordinary advance. An attempt has been made to solve the mystery by supposing that all pyramids were gradual accretions and that their size simply marks the length of a king's reign. Each monarch would make his sepulchral chamber, with a small pyramid above it, in his first year, and as his reign went on, add an outer coating each year. Thus, the number of these coatings would indicate the length of his reign, much like the age of a tree is known from the number of its annual rings. The conception of the Great Pyramid, attributed to Khufu, was not merely a result of his long reign but a testament to his grand vision. Unlike the Third Pyramid, the Great Pyramid and others exhibit a unity of design, suggesting that the architect had conceived the entire structure from the outset. The lengths of the various parts are proportioned to one another, and the main chamber would not have required the 5 relieving chambers above it unless it was known that it would have to bear a superincumbent mass. The construction of such an enormous pyramid, especially in the later years of a monarch's reign, would have been a monumental task. The pyramid would need to be coated over with huge blocks, the largest of which are at the external surface. This work would become increasingly difficult each year. Furthermore, each pyramid was finally smoothed down to a uniform sloping surface, a task that must have taken years. It is doubtful whether any pyramid would ever have been finished had a builder left it to his successor. Therefore, we must conclude that Khufu did suddenly conceive a design without a parallel. He required his architect to construct a tomb that would outshine all previous monuments and would be difficult to surpass or even equal. He must have possessed great ambition, inordinate selfishness, overweening pride, and complete indifference to the sufferings of others before he could have approved the plan set before him by his master builder. This plan, which included the use of huge blocks of stone, their conveyance to the top of a hill 100 feet high, and their placement at a further elevation of above 450 feet, would have caused a great deal of human suffering under the circumstances of the time. Khufu must have forced his subjects to labor for a long term of years, 20 according to Herodotus, at a servo work that was wholly unproductive and carried out amid their sighs and groans for no purpose other than his own glorification and the supposed safe custody of his remains. Shafra must have done nearly the same. As a result, an evil reputation attached to the pyramid builders. Their names were handed down to posterity as those of evil-minded and impious kings who neglected the service of the gods to gratify their own vanity and did not care how much they oppressed their people. There was not even the poor excuse that their oppression fell on slaves, foreigners, or prisoners of war. Egypt was not yet a conquering power. Prisoners of war were few, slaves not very common. The laborers whom the pyramid builders employed were their own free subjects whom they impressed into heavy service. It is by a just nemesis that the kings have largely failed to secure the ends at which they aimed. They have indeed handed down their names to a remote age, but it is as tyrants and oppressors. They are world famous, or rather world infamous. But the preservation of their corporeal frame, which they especially sought, is exactly what they have missed attaining. Their legacy serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of monumental ambition. Indeed, the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a testament to the extraordinary mechanical skill and knowledge of its builders. The precision with which the immense blocks of granite, brought from Syene, a distance of 500 miles, were polished and fitted together is truly astonishing. The construction of the discharging chambers over the roof of the principal apartment, the alignment of the sloping galleries, the provision of the ventilating shafts, and all the other wonderful contrivances of the structure were carried out with such precision that, despite the immense superincumbent weight, no settlement in any part can be detected to an appreciable fraction of an inch. However, it's also important to remember the human cost of these monumental structures. The grandeur of the pyramid builders' tombs attracted attention, leading to the opening of the monuments, the rifling of the sarcophagi, and the dispersion of the remains enclosed in them. Thousands of mummies buried in common graves remain untouched even to this day, while not a pinch of dust remains of Cheops, as the satiric Byron pointed out. Despite the gloomy associations attached to the pyramids due to the sufferings caused by their erection, they continue to challenge a certain amount of admiration as monuments. They serve as a reminder of the extraordinary capabilities of the ancient Egyptians, but also of the heavy toll these monumental structures exacted on their creators. They stand as enduring symbols of both human ingenuity and the transient nature of life. The architectural effect of the two greatest pyramids, the first and second pyramids, is indeed magnificent. Despite their initial subtlety to the beholder, due to their sloping formation, a prolonged examination reveals their impressiveness. Their vastness, solidity, durability, symmetry, harmony, and perfect simplicity convey a sense of grandeur and majesty. They evoke a feeling of astonishment and awe that is rarely caused by any other human-made structures. This admiration for the pyramids has been expressed throughout history, from Herodotus and Germanicus to Napoleon. They are counted among the 7 wonders of the world by Greece and Rome, and modern observers have even questioned whether such structures could truly be the work of human hands. The third pyramid, while not as grand as the first two, aimed at beauty rather than grandeur. Its stones are not excessively massive, and it was coated for half its height with blocks of pink granite from Syene. The entrance on the north side was conspicuous and seems to have had a metal ornamentation let into the stone. The sepulchral chamber was beautifully lined and roofed, and the sarcophagus was exquisitely carved. The constructor, Menkaure, was regarded not as a tyrant or oppressor, but as a mild and religious monarch. His religious temper is indicated by the inscription on the coffin which contained his remains, invoking Osiris and expressing a desire for eternal life. The tradition of burying in pyramids continued until the end of Manetho's 6th dynasty. However, no later monarchs rivaled the grandeur of the works of Khufu and Shafra. The tombs of their successors were of a more moderate size, which did not oppress the people and perhaps even improve their condition by causing a rise in wages. The period's native remains depict a cheerful representation of all classes. The nation was mostly at peace, focusing on production. The wealth of the nobles increased, and the position of their dependents improved. Slaves were few, and there was ample employment for the laboring classes. The Sphinx, a mysterious figure with the head of a man and the body of a lion, is another marvel of Egypt. The one placed before the second pyramid, the Pyramid of Shafra, astonishes observers with its gigantic proportions. Known to the Arabs as Abul Hol, the father of terror, it measures more than 100 feet in length and was partially carved from the rocks of the Libyan hills. A chapel stands between its outstretched feet, and a small temple behind the Great Sphinx, probably also built by Shafra, is formed of great blocks of the hardest red granite, brought from the neighborhood of Syene and fitted together with astonishing precision. Mysterious passages connect the Great Sphinx with the second pyramid. In conclusion, the pyramids and the Sphinx stand as enduring symbols of the architectural prowess and ambition of their builders. These structures continue to captivate us, inviting us to delve deeper into the mysteries of this ancient civilization. Thanks for sticking with me until the end. If you liked the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more amazing content. See you in the next one.